Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I've been out of service for the last couple of weeks, so for the first time in at least 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, I'm heading out just for a little bit though. I gotta kind of take it easy getting back out. I'll explain it later when I get set up. Brought a little food to cook up. It is abnormally hot. I think it's hot everywhere, but I'll let you know what it is here. Let's see, it's 8 o'clock now and it was already 92 degrees when I left. I believe forecast is that it's supposed to be about 102, 104 here. Might reach 118 down in Phoenix, which they said it's a new record since 2020. It's like, you usually hear these records go back like decades or centuries, but it's pretty warm. And like I said, I've been out of service for a while, and I'll explain the story a little bit later. But right now I'm just heading up into my local mountains. Can't really drive too far. Still in a little bit of pain, but it's beautiful here. So you may have seen I've got just a little steak and some maple syrup baked beans or something with bacon and Bush's baked beans. Just something simple. I got out early. I left the house about 7:30 because it's going to be really hot today. It's supposed to be over 100 here, and that's pretty hot at this elevation. Maybe 115, 118 down in Phoenix. I think it's been hot everywhere. These hotter days over the last week has brought in some monsoon clouds, but it's yet to actually pour down. And they dissipate really quick. I mean, the monsoon clouds they're very typical how they act and react, but they come and go as they please. So, but haven't got any rain. It's still nice, really nice and green out. So I've got a few interesting stories to tell. There was a story from the last video, which was probably a month ago, that I wanted to tie in. That was only partial video, and some things happened that I couldn't actually finish or add more to that video. So that's why it was so short. This one may be short too, and you'll hear in my little story time why. But I'll tie in what's been going on with me over the past 3.5 weeks, as well as what happened right when I was making my last video out here. It's a interesting story. I don't think I talked about, I mean, I've talked about this stuff on my live stream with a lot of the people that actually watch these videos, but that's only, you know, so many people. I wanted to share it with anyone else who's checking in. So, like I said, I got some baked beans and a small top sirloin steak. This is one of the smallest ones I've had since I switched over to cooking top sirloin. And this was $7, when in the past that would have been a $4 steak. So it looks like steak prices, even on this cheaper cut, they're going up. So I may have to cut back on my steak allowance for out here, because $7 for that seems, $4 was really good, but for as small as it is, about the size of my fist, maybe. It's not very big. It was really light. I could even tell in the packaging. I didn't actually pick them up myself, but what I'm going to get this all cooked up. We'll eat a little bit. We'll tell a little story time, and I'll probably want to get out of here before it gets too dang hot. I think my favorite Bush's baked beans are the originals. The ones with the brown sugar and bacon. These are pretty good too, but this is the kind of maple syrup one. I definitely like the brown sugar one better, but this one had an older date on it, so I needed to use it first. Nice, simple kind of cowboy meal. Really good. Using a different spice. I may have used it the last time, but usually I was just using the salt and pepper Butcher's brand. I'm using this black and tan now. So this is from Fire and Smoke Spices, Fire and Smoke Society. Black and tan. So it's black salt, black pepper. Got to really kind of, shake it around before you shake it out, so you get a good mixture. when I ordered that, I also got some ancho chili and coffee rub. See if I wanted to maybe use this in the future as well, from the Spice Lab on Amazon. It's like using a shovel, you know, just shovel it in there. The beans are pretty filling, so make sure you get all your steak in before you get too full. But I tell you, the steak is dripping with the juice from the beans. So good. It's warming up quick out here. You can probably see the angle of the sun it's actually below my awning, coming this way, because it's still pretty early. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do to avoid the heat. Feels good to sit down, I'll tell you that. Oh. So I had a couple quick stories for you here. So just to catch up first from a few weeks ago, about a month ago, right about a mile and a half from right where I'm at right now, this is where I do a lot of my local cooking. If I'm going to do not even really half-day trips, if I want to come up, get a little relaxation and make some coffee, make some food, talk to you guys, and get out of here. This is my kind of closest spot here. It's really nice area, beautiful trees. But about a mile and a half from here, there was a bear attack where a man got killed. It wasn't just an attack, it was a mauling, and the man got killed. And they did end up killing the bear. But the point in bringing this up was, I was going to talk about it right away, but like I said, a lot's been going on over the last month. Actually, really nothing's been going on, to be honest with you, but he was outside working on a kind of a remote cabin. He was building a cabin. I guess he had a little bit of land about a mile and a half from here. A 66-year-old man. The bear came up and went to town and actually drug him away. The rangers and the sheriff said about, say, 7,500 meters down a hill. And there were other people around, not right there with him, but there's other neighbors that have cabins in those areas. They were trying to make noise, and scare off the bear. And I guess finally one neighbor came out with his rifle. But it was too late, right? It was too late. So just want to pass on to you guys that, yes, this is a bear area. And even though they're just black bears, and most of the time, normally, they avoid confrontation. I haven't seen any other reports, but it seems like maybe some of these people were feeding them, or they weren't keeping their garbage kind of secure, because the bear came right up to it. So it's really sad, really unfortunate, but it's just one of those things, one of those reminders to always be aware while you're out here. You never know what could happen. So that was supposed to be tied in about a month ago, but that happened, and it was really close to here. So those of you that don't know it, the reason why I've been absentee for a few weeks is actually injured my back, and this is my first time out in 3 weeks. And I thought I thought I waited long enough that I would come out and be able to do some off-roading, because God, I miss driving and off-roading and getting out into the forest, and then, top it off with a little bit of cooking. As soon as I put it in a 4-low and started climbing the hill with the rocks, and the truck started shaking back and forth, I guess I'm not ready to be out here off-roading yet. So, just in a nutshell, I don't usually talk about injuries. You always hurt yourself a little here and there, especially when I'm working in the garage. But if I talk about an injury that's taken me out for at least 3 weeks, it's safe to say it's pretty serious. In a nutshell, I was goofing around, people were saying I was parkouring in my house, parkouring down the stairs. I was kind of running down the stairs, very steep stairs, loft stairs, very steep. And, later on I thought about it. I wear a size 14 shoe. I got pretty big feet. As you're coming downstairs, for your heel to clear the stair and to get the next one, my foot lands partway off the stair, and you're trying to land on the pad of your foot. So by the time I got to the bottom of the stairs, something happened. Everything happened so fast. But I, caught my foot and I twisted it a little bit, and then I was getting ready to land on the landing area, which is a bigger area than there's 1-2 steps to the tile floor. I planted my foot, and I just kind of simulated it right now, and I can still feel it. It started to roll hard, and I thought I heard it pop, but I was going to break my ankle. No ifs, ands, or buts. And I don't know what it is about me. I don't know if a lot of people are like this, but if you've done a lot of hiking, a lot of walking around out on uneven ground and stuff, my first instant reaction is to take all my weight off that foot that's rolling, right? Hopefully to prevent serious damage. But by doing that, you're going to hit the ground, right? You're going to hit the ground. And normally you would just kind of, if you were just on flat ground, you'd hit the ground. Well, I'm coming down 40 pounds overweight. Let's not forget that. I'm actually, I have to seriously start, taking some steps to take better care of myself, because I've let it go to 40 pounds over what my weight should be. So I'm 40 pounds overweight, 265 pounds coming down those stairs, and start to roll my ankle. So I take all my weight off, which it was my left leg. And so the banister's coming down, and right at the bottom at that landing, it turns, this far. It's got a little return. Well, right at that corner where that comes down the stairs, and there is like a big piece of wood, right? It's the base of the banister where the wrought iron comes down. And I landed right here. I don't know if you can see that. It went right up, kind of right next to my spine, right under my rib, and right above my hip bone. And as I was falling, it drove kind of up, drug along that area, then up into my rib cage. And it's been a while since I've done something that stupid. I'll just wrap this up by saying, after I hit that and I rolled off, I face planted on the tile, and I didn't move from that spot for about 2 hours. I couldn't move. Now my girlfriend, she wanted me to go to the hospital, but not that I was being stubborn. I was self-evaluating, So I sat up. I tried to sit up and sit on that first stair kind of right away. This is funny. I started cold sweating really bad. So shock, right? Cold sweating, feeling like I was going to throw up. I don't know, if you know your body enough to when you're getting like kind of weird chest feeling, your whole middle body is you start cold sweating, taking deep breaths. I passed out from the pain. I've never passed out before in my life. And I've broken my shin bone in half on a motorcycle. I've done a lot of bad things. I'll nearly rip my thumb off. I get this scar on my face. That's a whole nother story. I've had a lot of things, but I've never passed out from the pain or maybe from the shock aspect. But when I was sitting there, she was standing in front of me, kind of with her, she's standing in front of me. I'm sitting down. She has her hands on my shoulders, and she leans over because she went and got me a cold water, and she was going to put a cold water in the back of my neck. And she said literally, I actually snored a little bit and my head went down. And I was aware enough to know that I was sitting there feeling like crap, cold sweat, bad. And aware enough to know I went like this. And then she's I guess she shook me a little bit because I was going to fall forward on my face. I don't know if she could hold up my weight. because she had one, the cold water. Anyway, she woke me back up. Like, she said I was out for maybe 5 seconds or something. And I started laughing. I'm dying in pain. I started laughing. I'm like, did I just pass out? She's like, yeah, you snored a little bit. Like, what? Anyway, so she went upstairs. I got a new mattress that I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to make a video about it because it's that good. Like a pad, right? To put in this vehicle specifically. And it's only about this thick. I'll just tell you about it in another video. So it's lightweight, it rolls up. She brought that down. I had just gotten it, and we put it on the floor right where I ended up the first time before I sat up. And I laid face down because I couldn't move. It was agonizing pain. And I was there for 2 hours. And she's again begging me to go to the hospital and everything, but I'm like starting to catch my breath because it took all the wind out of me. And I was worried about internal bleeding. I mean, it was bad. It was a corner that drove up. If it was any sharper, it may have actually impaled me. It was pretty bad. And all my weight fell onto it. So I'm thinking, what's there? Kidney, small intestine, large intestine. Luckily, I have some pretty stout back muscles right there. And that's the best way I can explain it without like literally showing you detailed photos of what I fell on. Just to say, think of that, if you just put your hand on your back right here. You got your rib cage, your spine, and your hip bone. That area of meat was a piece of wood about this big with a corner on it, just drove right into that area with all your weight. I'm falling backward like this because either that or I'm going to break my ankle. So I've been out. I had one 7-hour night sleep in 3 weeks. I usually sleep for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then it wakes me up. Still to this day, right now, last night, it was aching. I don't take pain medicine or anything. For me, I don't like that stuff. Unless it's, I'm in the hospital and it's whatever. But at home, if I'm not at the hospital, I really try not to take it. I'll take something like an Advil for anti-inflammatory or something like that, but I try and stay away from this stuff. So the downside of that is that it's keeping me up, and it's kept me up. Last night, for example, I was restless. Finally, got in bed at 3:15 in the morning, and it woke me up. I was in such pain. This is just last night. I looked at the clock. It was 4 o'clock. So 45 minutes of sleep last night. And at 4:30, it starts to get light. You can start to see the light coming over the mountains. And then I just had a cup of coffee, watched a little YouTube, loaded up, and came out here. So I'm working on right now 45 minutes of sleep since, for 2 days. And I thought I was going to be able to do some off-roading, but the bolstering in the seats, pushing right on that area, and right now just every time I reach back there, it give me a little shock. I'm 1,000 times better, right? I can walk up and down the stairs. I can bend over. I can get up and out of the chair without acting like I'm in a back brace or something. But the bolstering on the seats pushes right on those areas right there, right? And when the truck does the wiggle waggle over the rocks, oh, the pain sets in. I know I don't know if I've explained it. I just wanted to let you know that I did something really stupid. I'm on the mend right now. Like I said, I'm 1,000 times better now. This is the first time. I've only driven twice in 3 weeks. Went for a drive in the morning. The first time I did it, I only got just around my neighborhood and I came back home. And then the other time was 2 days ago, and I was in the Lexus, and I drove for about a half an hour just around town for a little drive, and I had to come home because when the seat hits me, it's the kind of pain it takes my breath away because it's very sharp pain, and it takes my breath away, and it did that on the way in here. So I decided to come straight in and cook. The steak was really good. The beans were delicious. I like that combo, especially when the juice of the beans get all over the steak. It's really delicious. So I'm going to go home. I'm going to take it easy, see how I feel tonight, like what this little outing did for me. And it's only a Thursday right now. We've been working really hard on You Always Win. So been able to take some Thursdays off, which wasn't normal for us. I usually just was a Friday, Saturday guy. But today's Thursday. So I might be able to do something, I don't know, Saturday. We'll see. And if so, I'll add it to this video. If not, this will be another short video, but I felt that I needed to pass it on to you guys about what happened. And yes, I know it was dumb. I guess the moral of this story is, wow, you can't... I was being silly. I was running down the stairs because, for just some dumb reason. There's not even a good reason. And then the other side of it is try not to, because obviously I did. Try not to take things for granted, right? I took it for granted that every weekend I came out here. And then when that was taken away from me because I couldn't move, man, I was going stir crazy at the house. It was bad. Because I had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then at least while I was working, I filled up my days. But when you can't, and I could sit in my chair fine. I had a back support, and I just would sit real straight. And obviously, doing gaming wasn't a problem. But 3 weeks, and it's still pretty good pain. But like I said, 1,000% better. But don't take it for granted because, man, I've missed coming out here so bad. But it did remind me of something that in the summertime, I don't hit it every weekend like I do in the winter. Last winter, if you look at the videos, man, if there's snow or it's cool weather, I'm out every weekend. This being over 100 degrees and no clouds. So you get if you could be 100 degrees and have some clouds, have some shade, that's not too bad. But over 100 at elevation, I'm at 6,500 feet right here. And I live at 5,500 feet. To be 100 degrees there, it's definitely like 115 down in Phoenix. So that's going to do it for me, you guys. I appreciate you guys bearing with me. For the last video was very short. It felt like it was like a no effort thing. But my plan was to do more, but I got hurt. And I wasn't able to do more for that video. And then I had to skip a week. I skipped a week. I skipped 2 weeks, I think, somewhere in there. And just coming back off it, this isn't going to be the best one, but I'm on the mend, and I promise you guys I will bring you something different and interesting, not just sitting here and cooking, but the mixture, still working toward what I really want to do in these adventure videos. And I haven't been able to off-road in a long time, so I'm looking forward to doing more of that. But I thank you all for sticking around. Hope you guys enjoyed the story. I'll see you guys hopefully next weekend.